man. Well, then move your mic to your headset so we can hear the sound.
Well, you know what? Just watch it.
But then it's gonna echo, and I don't want to hear that shit.
Whatever, fuck you.
You're a bitch. Hurry up and start the stupid stream, so I can hear the stupid song you're just playing. Cause you're saying it's so dope.
Oh, are we live with
Oh no, I can't even hear the song. This song sucks.
You can hear it? I don't hear it.
You gotta turn on the stream, man.
It's the best part.
What shitty game is this from?
Fuck you, man. It's from Demon Souls, and it's the Tower Knight theme song, and it's like the sickest song.
Chivalry music?
Yeah, this song sucks.
I want to listen to the rest of it, man. Fuck the switching scenes.
Just make the entire show the song.
Why not, man?
Are we gonna start or what? What the hell?
Listen,
let it
I'll
go.
tell you when it's ready to go. Now I just like looking at your dumb face listening to this shit. Alright.
Hurry up, man.
Man, I really like that song. Alright, internet. I was really
whatever.
jamming out to that shit, but I guess we can talk about whatever.
Whatever.
You're watching ATP Live. Hold on, let me Twitter this shit. I always forget to do it. Boom, one
Now
click
you're gonna
away.
do it?
I did it already. It was preloaded into the...
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm on it, dude. So, anyway, how's everybody doing, internet? We're joined today, as usual, by Rickstah. How's it going, Ricky?
Doing good. I'm gonna type in bear dumpster gif and put it in the chat.
Cool, good shit. Rip, how's it going, man?
Terrible.
What's wrong?
What's
I
wrong,
played
girl?
online.
Yeah, man.
God.
Dude. It's, you know what? I was going to talk about some other shit, too. But I really want to talk about that. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. And just see how that goes, and then we'll go somewhere else if we don't like it. But I've been recently trying to just put my best foot forward with online and use it for like this tool. The way everyone says you can do it, right? And I agree that there is an extent in which this is a really useful tool and it can give you exposure to multiple styles with characters that you're not familiar with and stuff, right? But I'm finding that there is this problem I'm having. And the problem is the mistakes that I make while I'm playing online are beginning to wear away at my mind's allocation of energy when I'm playing a match. And let me clarify this. So let's say I'm playing Tekken Tag 2 and I drop a lot of combos. I drop combos online, right? And I'm thinking, fuck, this is just online. I'll land that combo offline. Don't worry. It's just online. The problem is, naturally, and I used this analogy when I was talking about it on my stream earlier this week, but it feels like when you cut yourself, you know, like a cut on your finger accidentally, you heal from that cut, right? But then when you, it's a great analogy. Just let me roll with it. Let me roll with it.
I thought you were gonna say like if you're an emo kid, you know, and you're cutting yourself.
Oh, I meant cut like a mistake, like a burn.
Okay.
You know, like let's say you burn your hand, right? The burn itself is gonna heal, but you're also gonna learn the lesson, and you're going to stop touching whatever burned you. So that's kind of like when you drop a combo. You know, the cut is the fuck. You know, you're like, damn it, I shouldn't have dropped that. This is offline I'm talking about. And then you go back, and then you fix the problem naturally. Right. Like, it's like, okay, I don't want to drop this combo anymore, so I'm going to fix it by practicing it. But the issue is, when you play online, you are intentionally burning yourself over and over on the same fucking stove. And you know that this is what you have to do to get the benefit of online. There is a benefit there, but you literally are intentionally pissing yourself off by dropping round-winning combos over and over again. And I feel genuinely that this is beginning to affect my execution offline. And let me, before I ask your opinions, I want to explain exactly how. earlier in the day, yesterday, I'm playing Tekken Tag 2 online. I hit a launcher from a combo, of which a combo I land all the time, and I drop it, right? But it's for the round. Later on in that tournament, Wednesday Night Fights, I play, and as soon as I hit that same launcher, I thought, my brain just fired and said, you dropped this earlier. So make sure you don't drop it now. Just that amount of allocation of energy is enough for me to feel pissed. It's like, fuck this, dude. I'm not even supposed to think about that. At this moment, I should already be looking forward to the end of the combo and what I'm going to do for Okazemi. Meaning, what have I learned about this opponent? What type of guy is he? Is he going to duck? All that. That's what I should be using my energy on. Not, okay, I hit this launcher. Make sure you don't fuck up. You know? So this is becoming an issue for me. And it's on my mind right now. And I want to know what you guys think. And perhaps if you have any advice. Because I want to play online, but I fucking hate it. Rip, you look like you have an opinion. And you play a lot of online. You were playing before the show started. What do you think?
Well, I've never had what you described, where it's like, your mistakes online translate to affecting your brain offline. Like I've never had an instance of that happen, but I get into like my problem with online is that I get into like patterns. Like the skill level and the style of play is different. And so, for example, yesterday when I played Chet at Wednesday Night Fights, like he was very solid. Like it's almost like he's never played online. Like his playstyle, I feel like wouldn't even work online, and that like really, really threw me off, and it made me feel like I am way worse than I used to be. Why are you smiling so big, Rick?
No, it's just because I was watching the stream and Aris laughed at that penis.
Yeah, someone put this big wiener in the...
I heard you laugh too.
I couldn't hold it in.
But yeah, I mean that's my main problem with online. Just the style of play that it
promotes.
Messes with my brain in that way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you're talking about is having to preload your best next decision into your previous decision because you can't act on the fly. I find myself doing that a lot too. Like, I do something and then I use probability to decide my next decision online rather than reaction because you can't count on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of it goes with the territory. And it's another thing. Wait a minute. Okay, so that kind of, in a way, is the same problem I'm having because it puts you into a bad habit, right? So when you play offline and you're getting fucked up because of this bad habit, wouldn't you say this is the issue? Like, you have to think about it. This is where I got the bad habit and undo it. You know what I mean? It's the same problem.
No, yeah. Definitely it is, actually.
And that's something you have to do on the fly. Like, boom, allocate brain power into fixing this problem that I got from online.
Yeah, and another thing about that I just realized in the match I was just playing a second ago was that there were a couple strings that just like the third hit is low or something, and or the second hit is high, and I'm ducking them, but it's coming out late online, so I'm not getting the ducks, I'm not getting the blocks or whatever. So like that was driving me insane, and like I know I was in my brain I'm thinking like if this was offline I would have ducked it and I would have gotten punished, but like I don't even get that practice in because it's online, So like I'm not even sure if I did it offline if I would do it right anymore because I've been doing it wrong online so much,
Man, why does it take you so long to fucking agree with me? That's exactly what I've been saying. Psychologically, your mistakes online begin to affect you offline. You question, can I even do this combo anymore? I fucking dropped it so many times, So I can definitely see online being an issue. What do you think, Ricky? I know you fucking hate that shit, right? You don't even play anything online, do you?
You guys are scrubs.
Best thing in the chat is that penis was still bigger than Rickstah. Boom, go on.
Whatever, dude.
Bigger than Rickstah's or bigger than Rickstah?
No, just bigger than Rickstah.
Oh, wow. Then it's way bigger than Rickstah's. If it's bigger than his... Okay, all right. Okay, move on. Go ahead, Ricky. What do you think? I mean, do you feel like it affects your offline play? You've gotten pretty good recently, too, so I think your opinion matters, too.
Oh, God. Well, if I've gotten good recently, then playing online has made me feel like a complete scrub because I'm getting rolled up online so hard lately, and it's frustrating, too, because, like, I feel like, all right, offline I'm doing better, I'm not where I want to be, obviously, but it's like, I'm getting results, I'm getting better results slowly, and it's like when I go back online, I'm like, all right, now I'm going to play this dude, I've never heard of him before, don't know where he's from, he has some name, whatever, and I'm playing him, and then he just rolls me up 3-0, and I'm like, am I really that good, or am I, or is it
Right.
just I'm good offline, and I don't know, and I mean I don't think online is bad if you use it in the right way, but if you're playing online and I feel like you're just going there to just win and and do all the rank up and all that, and then there's no real, like, you're not really winning at that. But if you go online, and you like have a setup or something, or you want to like test to see like, oh, maybe like against certain characters, like let me try stepping this way, stepping that way, or whatever, then it could help, I guess. But it's not going to be, nothing's going to compare to offline. You just have to know what works online and what works offline.
Well, for me, I feel like it's not so cut and dry. I feel like it's a package deal. It's like, I don't want to deal with the negatives. And I feel like a lot of other people are doing it and they're easily able to. I don't understand, like, there has to be some way. It must be just a matter of willpower. I don't know what it is, but I can only fuck the same thing up so long due to something that's out of my control for so long before I go nuts. I mean, how many times can you step on the same banana peel over and over before, as a human being, you think, you know what, I'm not going to step on that shit this time? And to me, a method of not stepping on this shit this time is, some people, they decide their method of winning will be quitting. I can't get past this barrier I've reached. I reached a plateau. I'm just going to quit at this point. I don't know what to do to stop stepping on this banana peel. And I don't want to name any names, but there's a fucking ton of dudes in every local scene. And I was looking around Wednesday Night Fights last night. There are a sea of faces there that I see every week entering Wednesday Night Fights, Street Fighter, Injustice, whatever. They never get anywhere. They just have reached this level where they're just playing and banana peeling their way through their competitive life. What is it about these people that doesn't allow them to progress? This is like it's like a progressive thinking for me. And I feel like everyone naturally, as a human, when you like something, Tekken, art, race car driving or whatever, if you like it, you will improve at it. Like, it's just like anything. For example, an excellent example is open fucking broadcasting, whatever this is, and streaming and all this shit. I used to, on episode 1, 2, and 3, be shitting myself before the show started. Oh, window capture, rip, which one do I do? What do I do? How many fucking gigabytes do I need in the encoding? Today, I fucking sat down and started having a conversation with these guys while I did this. And God knows I fucking hate doing this stuff. I hate the internet and I hate technology. But I do it much better, even though I hate it, right? So it's like the natural body, the human body does this. You just do it. The mind and body improve. It's how you learn. So what is explaining these, like, we got to think of a name for these guys. These, like, dwellers. They're just like these, SP mans, or like, or like, or you could name so many names. There are so many players that just keep coming. That guy with the beard, I don't know what his name is, Necromantics or something. He plays Street Fighter 4. I've seen him every week. Why doesn't he make top 3 one of these times, man? I mean, there has to be a explanation, dude.
You know what it is? I think it's they don't want to get better because they just don't have the drive, and they're content with what with just being at the tournament, playing other people, whether they win or lose. They don't really have. They might be mad or whatever, but they don't have the drive to, go home and say, all right, I lost to this. Let me turn this shit on and figure out how I lost, what I need to do against it. They just either drop excuses or they just really just don't have the drive to get better anymore, and they just rather play, casually.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is like actual, like, will. Right? What you're talking about is like actively going into throw break trainer, or actively like learning something like how to block punish. What I'm talking about is the natural ability of learning and progression. I mean, you can't not get better, yet so many people defy this law. I mean, that's, I think, something that a lot of people who are trying to get better and maybe have reached like this plateau, they're probably thinking to themselves, what do I need to do? Like, what needs to happen here for me to progress? And that's how I think. Like, I think like that type of a person, like if you keep doing it and you like doing it, no matter how hard it is, you will get better at it and eventually get very good at it if you like doing it. It's natural, you know? But some people are not following that. What do you think about this, Rip? You look like you have something to say.
No, actually, but it's interesting, Rick, because we were just talking about this. Let's not name names, but we were just talking about this with League of Legends the other night. And you know, I got this friend, and he plays a lot. Like he plays games probably more or almost as much as pros play, I feel like. But you know, he doesn't click to like that tournament level, and I don't understand. I couldn't understand why that was. Like, I mean, like to him, I feel like he thinks like, oh, you know, I can't put in that much time into the game. I'm like, but dude, you already do. You play so much. You know what I mean? You're already on that level. You're just not trying to compete at that level. You know what I mean? And someone would text like talking shit about me. No, and someone's like, does he even play League? Anyway, point was
He's such
that
a troll. Hey, shut up! All he does is talk shit and sit around, dude. Whatever, that game sucks.
Oh god.
God, unbelievable.
Oh god. But yeah, so I mean, it's interesting. And going back to what you said, like, you know, the human mind basically getting better at something it does repeatedly. I think there is a certain level per person where their brain reaches that level so quickly of like, you know, this is my peak, and I really have to put in a lot of work after this, and then it goes to will, like what Rickstah was talking about.
Okay, so you think you literally reach a point where you, even if you do this over and over again every day, you'll never get better at it. I mean, you think there is a point like that? Because
I agree too. I think there is a point for everybody.
How could that be? I mean, it's simply a matter of learning. If you're not learning, you're dead.
No, dude, this was me Tekken 1 until Tekken 5 basically. Like I played the games hella, right? And you know, and in Tekken 4 I realized like, okay, I'm starting to get better at the game, right? Like because I'm beating all the people who don't play the game, right? So it took me that long until I realized like, okay, I'm decent. And then Tekken 5 came out. I'm like, I've been playing this long enough, like. And then finally I made the decision, like, let me try to compete in this game. Let me actually try to learn everything, you know?
Okay, but
and, like, until I even tried to learn that much, like, I mean, I still had to learn, like, the basics. You know, like, the hold back thing, you know? Like, if somebody just told me that, like, when I was playing Tekken 3, I would have been a lot better a lot sooner, you know?
Yeah, but,
like,
okay, you're being way too specific. I mean, just think of it as... To me, when you start playing fighting games is not when you, like, discover the concept of versus... against a human. I mean, everyone was a kid and played their friends. I'm talking about when you think I'm entering tournaments, I'm gonna win them. I'm gonna win tournaments. I'm gonna be the best. When that point got into when that thought entered your mind and you not only grasped strategy and the game and all the specifics, just you wanted to be the best. That's when you started. Who gives a fuck before that? Pizzeria, I went to my local laundromat. No one cares about that story. Everyone wants to know what happened after, when you began. That's the beginning to me. And once that point started for you, and I can kind of remember it, you know, the Camelot days and the T5 days, that's when you really appeared. You were just a dude, you know, like you were around and playing, but you didn't say, now's the time when I'm going to start playing tournaments. You know, everyone has that time. And that's when I think it begins. So consider that when you say this, you know? It's a big difference. I think it's a huge difference. What do you think, Ricky? I mean, like, what are your thoughts overall? I think that it's not possible for you to reach a plateau if you're alive. If you're a human that has a functioning brain and you're doing something over and over again, you can't make the same mistakes again, no matter what, unless you're a retard.
Well, okay. Well, the problem with your idea though is that everyone. The whole tournament scene is everyone's getting better, you know. So it's not just, you know, why isn't this guy who started below everyone not getting better than now everyone else stays the same, you know. They're always going to keep getting better. So that guy not only has to reach their level, he has to exceed it. And you know, that's hard. It's hard to do when, you know, when either you're new or, you know, you just don't have the drive or anything like that. It's one of those things that, you know, they have to really want to be good to actually be good, you know?
See, that's what I don't believe. That's where I think we differ. I mean, that's the point where we separate. Because to me, if you like something, you don't need that much willpower to naturally get good at it. However, you can like accelerate the process by actively searching for things and, you know, playing a lot of sessions, going back, watching your matches, whatever, yeah, that will absolutely accelerate the process. But even at a very slow pace, like, you know, I hate to pick on SP Man, but I'm just going to use his name because I need a example. And, you know, I love you, Juan, but this guy, SP Man, was SP Man, level 1 sword-wielding SP Man. In 2002, when I walked into
even had a
Southern
sword
Hills,
back then, huh?
he knows how to fight. He knows how to wield his weapon. But let me tell you, he's the guy that you're going to get rid of immediately. You don't want him on your party. Not at all, you know? And I'm telling you, when I entered the scene and I was a total scrub with a pocket full of coins, SP Man was still the same SP Man. And I recall the point in which I surpassed him, and I recall now him just being the same guy for the new players. Like, new players will come to the arcade and we'll watch SP Man. Like, can they beat SP Man?
Gatekeeper.
So why? Yeah, exactly. Gatekeeper, I suppose. But some people are not even on the gatekeeper level. Sometimes they're just shitty nothing keepers. They're keeping nothing, you know? So it's like, to me, how are these people? I want these people to not be keeping nothing. I want them to grow. And I think a lot of people like myself don't understand where this growth needs to come from. How do you break through that barrier? I don't even understand how they exist, first of all, let alone how to break through them.
I think per game, like, there are certain system mechanics you need to know, right? But then what separates players, like, once they hit a plateau, I think is, like, not even related to the game. I think it's just like you know, like the Art of War, you know, or Book of Five Rings, right? Like, I think people are lacking that, and so as much as they learn the game, they don't have that, like, mindset of how to win in a tournament setting, you know, against another human being. And I think that's where they really start separating.
So your theory is that the answer to improvement and winning is literally outside of the game. Yeah. And those people that are really struggling and think, oh, all I gotta do is hit the fucking lab. I hate that saying. I gotta hit the lab and come up with new technology. Technology is not gonna help anyone. You know, it's just technology is like a sprinkles. You know, you don't even, you know, you need to examine the way to win. I think that's what you're saying, right? It's outside of the game. Saying.
Correct.
Okay, what do you think, Ricky, about that?
I can agree with that. I mean, you know, I've always had this view of certain players that, you know, they can kind of fall into two categories. You know, the by the books and you know, by feel. You know, and right off the bat, when a new game comes out, I already know who's going to do well in the first couple weeks because these players play by feel. They don't need to know all the ins and outs of the game. They just need to know, all right, what's good, what's not good, how do I abuse it, how do I win. A player that's been like that, in my opinion, because I've known him for a long time, is Bobino. Now I know it's like he's all, no matter what game it is. Like, I think if you gave him and you gave some other guy, a guy who plays by the books, like the same game for a week, like brand new game, Bobino will roll that guy up in the first week.
I agree.
In a couple months later, it could be a whole different story.
It will be a whole different story. It is a whole different story every time.
But it's like that, you know, like if he knows, he has instincts, you know, he knows what he should be doing and what works. And I feel like if the new players don't have by the books or instinct, then they're just kind of nothing. It hurts to say it, man, but it's like they really gotta work on something to get better, and
it just
know what it is.
Yeah, it's really peculiar to me because it's not even about like you guys like automatically you guys take it to the next level, like what you need to do to fix it, right? Like all you need to do is you examine whether or not this type of player, or you know, you have a plateau. What I'm wondering about is how the fuck is it not happening naturally? Like when I look back at my progression when I decided I want to win, you know, it was like the detailed plateaus were there, like, oh man, this character's cheap. I gotta figure out a way for Valdo to beat Nightmare because it's a bad matchup. Yeah, that's like a plateau because the best fucking player in my region was a Nightmare player. So, of course I'm gonna want to overcome this barrier that's in front of me. But this is like more about how, not how like details, how like I think I overcame that barrier because I loved Soul Calibur 2, I loved the arcade, and I didn't want to lose anymore. So naturally, my eyes and brain and feet functioned together and said, I'm going to step over this banana peel this time. Lesson learned. Or cut on your finger or burn on your hand. I mean, it's not just the act of, to me, the act of going back into training mode and learning how to duck under the string or practicing a combo is like the healing of the burn or the healing of the cut. And the lesson on which how you avoid the cut next time, that's the natural, it happens by itself. You don't have to think, don't forget that this fucking fire is gonna burn you. Don't touch that. You don't have to think that. We're humans. You naturally think that. It should come naturally, unless you're a retard, you know. And you know, and I don't mean that in like, you know, I just mean, yeah, whatever, retard. Yeah, that's what I mean exactly. Unless there's something wrong, you know. So I don't know. I think that's the issue. Like, there has to be some kind of issue for you to not naturally step over the banana peel. I mean, what do you guys think? It's not even to the point of active solving problems.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Plague in Virtua Fighter, because I would do Jackie's junkyard string basically, and literally I could beat him. The first couple times I played him, I beat him with just that string because he would never block the low.
Right.
And I'm like, why isn't he blocking this? Like, I can delay it, sure, but it's always low then high. Like, come on, you know, like I have to like do a stance cancel basically and like sidestep to like get the mid come out of it. So I mean, it was really weird. And like the thing is, I felt like the first couple weeks I was like, all right, I can beat this guy just by doing this one move. That's all I got to do. And then like I was like, that's ridiculous, and I don't know why that is. But then finally, like I feel like 2 months later, he started blocking it, and I was like, oh my god, I have to do a mix up now, you know? And it just, I don't know what took so long and what that was. I still don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't need an answer for that because he proved me right. Even if you fucking step on the banana peel, eventually a human, no matter how little you care, if you do it over and over again, you're going to get better at it. I know how to capture the chat and do window captures with OBS, and I fucking hate doing it, but I know how to do it. You know, and Plague, you know, he probably loves VF and hates you. But eventually, he decided, I love VF, and I hate Rip, but I'm going to step over him this time, you know, by blocking the low or whatever, you know? And maybe he didn't beat you, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it's natural. He is a human. Basically, confirmation, you know? But what I wonder, what just happened to Ricky?
I don't know, he fell down, dude.
Did he fall?
No, I have no idea, but...
Is he getting robbed?
Dude, speaking of which...
Anyway, go ahead.
Somebody knocked on the door. You had to go answer it.
Okay.
That is so crazy. But dude, this is so random. But I just randomly ran into a Rip versus Plague match with you commentating, and you were such a dick to me, man. What the hell?
Well, you are an asshole in that game. You are beating everybody, and you don't know how to play. It's your natural instinct. Basically to me, you in that game is like the oldest style of playing, the first style of American playing fighting games, where you just found what you need, minimalist tools, and you just applied them with correct strategy and timing. Minimalist. You didn't even need to learn the system that much. All you needed to know was I found this character with these tools that I like, and I'm going to apply good fighting game, you know, arithmetic to it and just run it. And it worked. I mean, you were terrorizing people forever. You know, I was a dick to you because these guys are loving Virtua Fighter. They're like dedicated Virtua Fighter players, and you're just like, oh, fucking boom, boom, boom. And it's just like these guys are on suicide watch because of you. Of course, dude. You know, of course, I'm going to be a dick to you. You're a troll, man.
That wasn't trolling, though, man. Like, that's the thing, too, about the whole backflip thing. Like, people said I was trolling, dude. And, like, I don't consider that trolling at all.
Yeah, I don't either. But that's because you and me were birthed from a time when that kind of shit was dope. You know, like we know that, man, doing Marduk's back 4 and down 4 over and over in Tekken 4 was like, damn, look how many times he got kicked by that same move. Damn, that's what we used to do. Now they're like, look at this guy just spamming the same move. Gunshots all day, Aris. All you do is shoot those guns. Learn a combo. Fucking retards, dude. It's the stupidest thing I've ever. Learn a combo.
All right,
But
if
I
anyone
won the
wants the
tournament.
same exact thing, if anyone wants the same exact comments from that, check out what tournament was it, Rip? Where you beat Hugo 101
Oh
with
my
just
god.
shadows in
Yeah.
Blazes
Mortal
top
Kombat?
4. Oh
Learn
my
how to
god.
do a
The
combo.
comments for that were just like, Rip sucks. All he does is just spam shadows. Dude doesn't even know a combo.
Learn a combo.
Dude, you remember?
Same exact
Oh my
comments.
God! Back in the days of like the arcade, you know, players like Sin and Devil X and like Tidy Whitey and shit. These guys were just the purest of fucking assholes. The same move over and over. Hell sweep, 3B, fucking the same shit. Over and over till all your coins are gone. And all you could think at that time was, this guy is a bitch and I'm going to beat him tomorrow. Fuck this guy. You know, like it was just what I thought every time, you know? And maybe it has to do with okay, so in today's current technology, you know, online sucks. We all know that, right? It can only reach a certain level of perfection before it's like, well, this is as good as you can get. It's online, you have to compensate. So perhaps that inherent excuse that's built into playing online naturally breeds a like, I gotta be careful what I say here, naturally breeds a less skilled player, like one that's soft, right? Because they are like born in an environment that is like bred to have mistakes built in. You know, excuses. Like, it's online, and that's all you know. So naturally, dealing with mistakes should be a lot easier for you because they happen so much. While for me, I'm an arcade player, dealing with mistakes online is just causing me to have aneurysms. I mean, it's like the worst. I hate it. And it's obviously an issue for me to overcome it. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe these new online games that are coming out are breeding a shittier player. What do you think about that? Ricky, what do you think?
Uh, it's the new generation, man. It's like, that's how it's always going to be. They weren't raised in the arcades, so it's going to breed softer players because they expect everything to be handed to them, you know? Like, information is so easy to grasp now that, or, you know, grab off anywhere, you know, the internet or something. So it's like, you don't have to learn it. You don't have to know how to deal with it. You just have someone else deal with it for you, and then you find out how to deal with it just by reading rather than actually learning and dealing with it.
Well, to me, I mean, basically all that really is fast forward. Like back in the day, if something was bugging you, all you had to do was go back and learn how to beat it, right? Now, all you got to do is go to your cell phone and look it up, and you can beat it. So that's the same thing to me. It's just much faster. And that's a topic I was going to kind of transition to. But basically, I want to conclude here. And, you know, what I'm gathering from you, what you're saying is, this is a problem that I'm going to have to deal with because I started in the arcade. I started offline. And online is something that when it was invented was a piece of shit. And now it's something that's accepted. And I have to just like conform to it, and these issues that I'm dealing with are very personal. New players don't even have a problem separating this. Is that what you're saying?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's terrible. It's fucking gay. I hate it, you know? I hate it. And I hate that other people that are watching me play are like, all you gotta do is separate it, Aris. It's just online. But, I mean, me and myself as a human, when I am trying to do something like win online, even though it's a fucking stupid idea, it's like, you know, I don't even want to make an analogy for it, fucking jumping off a roof. But, you know, even when you play online, you know, it's like, I'm walking into these mistakes. I know I'm going to make this combo error, and I know that it's going to hurt because I'm trying to win the round. And when I drop it, it's going to affect me later. You know, these are fucked up things that are resulting from, you know, playing online. What do you think, Rip? Do you have kind of like a final word on this? Do you agree with Ricky?
What is Ricky's point?
He thinks that, you know, it's like, I'll let him make it. Fuck it.
It's a new generation thing, dude.
Yeah, he thinks that
it is.
basically it's like, you know, it's the environment. You know, it's like online, you just got to separate it. And the only reason I can't separate it is because I'm old. And, you know, it's like, I know better, while online players don't know any better. So they can easily just say, hey, Aris, just whatever. It's just online. Don't worry. While to me, I'm trying to fucking solve my problems. And if I make a mistake later on when I go through the, you know, time to get better process, I'm going to look at all my mistakes and the things that pissed me off. And those are the primary things that pissed me off. So execution. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I think that you can't use online like that. It's not there yet.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, it's like a goal you have. You sit down and you don't sit down to lose. I guess you have to psychologically equate winning to learning. And it's like, man, it's really hard to do when you're fucking losing and it says you lose, and then the guys high five each other and shit, like
with the butterfly wings.
Yeah, which you basically, yeah, exactly. And he was doing like a fucking Elisa taunt and shit, or like fucking, you know, it's like, come on, dude, I'm a human being, you know. How am I supposed to learn from this? Fuck you! I hate it when they do that. Like, you get so mad that it's like, yeah, okay, let me just be this pissed off to the point where I'm just screaming and learn. You know, is that even possible? You know, it's not possible. You can't learn like that. Anyway.
Well, no, I think what it's because like the reason why you don't care about Revolution is because there is no offline. So because of that,
cool. I think it's cool for that reason, because I can't say like, next time I play versus mode, when I hit this launcher, I'm going to think about, man, I fucked that up earlier online. There is no fucking versus mode. I fuck it up every time. You know, it's like,
yeah,
dope. You know, I know that I can't do the combos in that game because it's all online. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, I think your mindset is that because there is an option for offline, when you play online, all you can think about is that option offline. You know, and then it's like, because you're thinking of what, you know, the better way to play the game. And, you know, and obviously the better way to play the game is offline.
Well, so, yeah, I mean, basically, I agree with you. Basically, what you're saying is that I'm using the comparison is killing it. Like, if I were to pretend like Tekken Tag 2 had no versus mode, then I would be able to use it for the tool it is. But the fact that I play an offline tournament, sometimes immediately after I'm pulling out my fucking beard hairs from being pissed, that's what's correlating the two. And I think I agree with you. I like that conclusion we came to. Something to work on, at least for me personally. If I intend to play online and continue to play online, which I guess I do, everyone likes watching it, I have to progress. Just like with this OBS window capture shit, as a human, I have to progress, you know? So I'm trying. This is a proactive stance I've taken towards online.
I blame streaming.
Go ahead. Yeah, I have more. What do you?
No, I was just saying I blame streaming too, because like I didn't play much online until I started streaming.
Yeah, of course. People love watching that shit, and they're like, oh, you know, it's really funny, whatever. And I like interacting with the chat.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've said it many times. If I wasn't like a streamer and if I didn't have the chat room, I would never play online. I would have quit fighting games already, probably. If I couldn't get online competition, I would have been out of here for sure, because it's fucking shitty. It's like, not cool. Fighting games suck ass, basically, is what I'm saying. In today's market, fighting games suck, dude. The only reason I play them because it's fun, you know, the chat's interesting, you know, and I also like the creative outlet of like beating people at something creatively. But the thing that Ricky was saying earlier when he was talking about just going up and looking online and kind of solving your problems that way, that is something I wanted to talk about too. This is another issue kind of transitioning over. Because Soul Calibur 2 HD has been announced, it's gotten like that part of my memory kind of brewing, and I'm remembering these memories from back when I was really trying to be the best player in the world, and like the way I used the internet to let me learn about the game, right? But at that time, YouTube didn't exist, and I felt like in today's day and age, if a game releases like Injustice, I feel like so many people are playing it and they're able to share their knowledge with each other that you're able to take what someone did and apply it to what you can do, and then therefore the game evolves extremely quickly because of YouTube, right? And I myself can give an excellent example of this. The max damage bread and butter combo that I found with Wang Dragunov, I learned from watching a max damage bread and butter combo for Zafina and Wang that this guy Emperor Jajang, or I think he's Sith Lord on Tekken Zaibatsu, he put a video of this up. I watched that video, gave me the idea for my max damage combo, and then I put my video up, right? So this is a perfect example of it, right? That didn't exist back in Soul Calibur 2. So what if, this is the main question I'm asking here, what if the not having YouTube in that day and age is what prevented that game from aging enough to knowing if it was even good, right? So one thought that crossed my mind is Soul Calibur 2 HD Online is coming to 2013 or maybe 14, whatever, 2013. It's going to be released, right? What if that game dropped in today's market will be broken instantly because so many more people will be able to show what they find, and people will take that baton and take it somewhere else. Take that, take it somewhere else. It will age faster than it ever has been allowed to age. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about that? Could YouTube end up breaking a previously, at least in my mind, near perfect fighting game? What do you think, Ricky? Or actually, what do you think, Rip? Boom,
yeah, go ahead.
baited.
I think that that relies on people going to the lab and finding new technology, because otherwise, they're just, it's going to be the same game. Only the old players are going to play it, and you won't find a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, but don't think so much about whether or not it becomes popular. For the sake of this argument, think about just the idea of it existing in an age of YouTube versus not in an age of YouTube. For example, pretend like YouTube and just internet sharing of video strategies was not available, and Marvel or even Injustice came out, right? Every region is individually practicing on their own. Each region has a random number of players who are good and shitty. Each one of those players selects a character, so that's where you have a region with a lot of this character, or a region with no laws, or whatever. You guys are grasping this concept. So back in the days of Tekken Tag 1, this is an excellent example. Tekken Tag 1 releases on arcades. Every region has its own group of players, and what happens is they have a national tournament. At this national tournament, this is the first time, because there is no YouTube, that these regions, Midwest, Northeast, whatever, all these regions come together. So this is the YouTube. Limited time window in which we can all see what everyone's learned, right? At Nationals for Tekken Tag 1, this Korean dude, I forget his name, I don't remember if it was Jang Ik-soo or whatever.
No, Sok Dong Min.
That's him. Sok Dong Min, that guy. He fucked everyone's ass 8 times. Like, he just was breaking the rules of the game. He knew how to Korean backdash, which is why they call it Korean backdash. Just the existence of Korean backdash alone was enough to kind of crack that game off its axis. It was spinning in a certain way in America, and that on its own broke it. It just changed the orbit of Tekken Tag 2. Things like haha step, things like ogres, things like mishimas, those things changed the direction of that game's orbit around the earth, So what I'm saying is those kinds of cracks, they don't happen anymore because everything's being shared instantly, right? So let's pretend Soul Calibur 2 pops up today. It's an old game that almost no one has researched since it died. Do you guys think it's possible that today's method of sharing information could break a previously unbroken game? What do you think about that, Ricky?
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, just having the game and having so many people play it, it doesn't matter how many people play, as long as they, the fact that you can share information so quickly. Like, I can record a video on my phone and upload it to YouTube in 10 minutes. And that information, you go on a forum, you post it, and all of a sudden it's everywhere. So like, and people see that, and it can just break off. And I think like that kind of thing can be great for a game, and can be terrible for a game. Because I think I was thinking about Marvel 2 this entire time, because Marvel 2 came out during a time when no one had the internet was everyone had it, but the sharing information wasn't easy.
Video.
Downloading
it wasn't
videos
in video form.
Yeah, videos took forever to download, so you never did it, or if you did it, it was only like a 10-second clip or something. So like, if Marvel 2 came out today, like Marvel 2 in all of its broken glory, I don't think it would have been as popular today as it was, a couple of years back ago because people learned and broke the game slowly, and so when they found something new, it made it interesting. But I think now they would have found everything broken within the first month, and they're like, this game is so trash.
Game's
Look
a
how
piece of
look how
shit.
broken this game is, and then no one would have given it a chance.
Or it
when
needs to be
it
patched
became
instantly, right?
yeah, and it became a game that 10 years later after its release, it was being played so competitively, and it was one of the best games to watch. So I think that kind of idea, it can really help a game grow, because then you can patch it, you can try to make it better, but it can also limit the growth of the game because you can turn off so many players from it.
That is an excellent point, and you rarely make those. That is a great point. I mean, that's totally true. Basically, those games didn't need to be patched because nobody figured out what needed to be patched about them until after Nationals, and by that time we just were like, whatever, it's Tekken, and everyone was resilient. There was no patching. So, at that point, that's pretty interesting. I never really thought about that. I mean, what are your thoughts on the issue, Rick?
I basically agree with Ricky and everything he just said. I mean, the example I was thinking of was in Tekken 5 with Steve's Infinite. Like, I feel like we knew about it, but we hadn't really seen it.
Yeah.
And, like, not until EVO anyway. And so
yeah, that's true.
And at EVO, I remember watching, I think it was Devil X versus one of the guys from Texas. And it was like, he would do a back one with Brian, because that was so good. And the guy would just sidewalk his back and kill him. I was like,
he's dead.
Jesus Christ, you can't use back ones, And then, like, he just was so used to it. I mean, he was a smart player and everything, but, he just was used to using back ones because it's such a good tool, and that was part of Brian's core moveset, and, like, it got him killed, like, so badly in that set. And I was like, wow, like, if this, and I'm thinking back now, I'm like, if this was on YouTube, we would have known about this. We would have prepared for this at EVO. Hell, Steve might have been banned for EVO, like,
right.
We have no idea. So
it's very interesting. I have another story to tell that I think is relevant to this context. In Soul Calibur 2, when the game was released, every region, just like in Tekken Tag 1, had their own group of players, and there wasn't a lot of sharing of information. And Chicago, it had an arcade division at that time. And Jason Arney, he worked for Namco at that time and was residing in Chicago. So he had access to a board for purposes of, like doing move lists and just basic QA. It's a game that came out. He has access to the board. That's how it was back in the day. And so he was, playing with the locals, trying to learn the game and whatnot. And by the time Nationals came, everyone felt like, okay, we know how to play this game. Everyone's playing it. We communicate on forums, but there isn't a lot of video sharing of information. When Nationals came, they had discovered Step Guard, which is literally like discovering Korean backdash because it allows you to safely move in that game. So they discovered that, and we didn't know it. And they won that tournament, and we were just like, wow, that's fucked up. It's like the most game-breaking thing. It literally fucked everything up for us. We were like, damn, this is a huge thing. They were smart to sandbag it and not tell anyone on the internet. And even if they were going to tell people on the internet, they wouldn't have shown anyone. They would have had to write some long guardimpact.com fucking post about it, and half of the morons that don't read it, half won't read it, the other half will read it and not understand it. So even if they did release it at that time, there is no sharing of information, so we got fucked. We got fucked by Chicago super hard. And I don't mean to talk shit, but that is the last time Chicago fucked anything. Okay, they didn't fuck anything after that. As soon as we got that one trick down, they didn't fuck anything. Not anyone, anything. There was none of that. Himalayan white cats, none of that. We took care of that. Everyone quit. Oh, the best players all quit. Anyway, that story is an excellent example of this. I mean, literally, me, SP Man, Tidy Whitey, all the Southern Hills Golfland crew, even Joey, Mr. Wizard, Castell, everyone was part of the scene, right? When that happened, we were all like, well, fuck. We didn't know that was in the game. Like, damn. I mean, we still didn't get owned. We got like 4th and 5th or whatever at Nationals. But, yeah, we got our asses handed to us, and it was due to the lack of YouTube. So I definitely think that you guys are 100% right. Games in this day and age get, shout outs to Arturo, but they get exposed. You know, they get exposed super quickly and they evolve super quickly. And, you know, I don't know what time it is. Yeah, we got plenty of time. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is a great transition to it. Is this dude that listens to the show. He is also a writer for a website called Gama Sutra magazine. He sent me an email, and he was talking about how he liked the topic that we talked about last week, which was like the development of fighting games and all that stuff. And he thought that we might like to know, or I don't know if he thought that we don't know, which I didn't. He thought it was interesting that the future platforms that are coming out, Xbox One and PS4, are going to no longer require developers to go through the two-step process of 30-day QA testing on top of the monetary price of paying for the testing. So no, you don't have to do that anymore. Basically, it'll be like PCs. And this is one thing I wanted to ask you guys because you're way more familiar than I am. For PC games, if they want to patch something, can they just like poop it out? Like, I want to patch something. Boom. Is it like that? I mean, how does it work? Do you guys know, Rickstah, either of you?
Usually they still go through. Usually they still go through testing, like internally at least, you know, because they don't want to put something out that breaks the game on your PC and makes it unplayable or something.
Right, but internal testing is minimal. I mean, it's like what they have to do anyway to create the change.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know as far as like StarCraft goes, like they have an internal team,
right?
You know, who play with the new patch for like an extended amount of time to make sure it's balanced correctly, and then they push that out. You know, but the process of like pushing it out is pretty easy.
Yeah. So basically, according to this gentleman, he said that to refer to him as Splash. But anyway, this guy Splash, he sent me this email and he said, you know, all this stuff about how the future consoles will not have this process. So basically, it's to promote indie development, I believe. But this new trend, and in his email, he also said that it's whenever this happens, PS3 and Xbox 360 will also be this way. Like, PS3 and Xbox 360, Xbox One and PS4, all of these platforms, the developer will be able to patch their game for free, essentially, except for paying for their own internal development costs. You know, they don't have to pay the extra money. I think that could shatter fighting games in a new way, like just send them in a new direction. What do you guys think? You're more familiar with this type of patching. How do you feel like it'll affect the fighting game growth and development in the future? What do you think, Ricky?
I don't know if it can be good or bad. I think, like we said last week, like, you know, when you're taking your ideas from the community, you're grabbing a bunch of shit with maybe one or good two pieces of ideas, or, you know, patch notes or something. Mm-hmm. So it can be terrible because you can constantly change a game that, you know, will never get a chance to be fully fleshed out, even though with, you know, YouTube and all that, it's still going to take a while for things to be found, you know. But at the same time, it could be really good, you know. It really just depends on the developers doing a good job.
What do you think, Rip?
No, I totally agree with Ricky. I think it's very risky, especially for fighting games. I think Injustice in particular, they definitely had too many patches too fast. That's the way I look at how this game progressed. And I think that if they had slow rolled it, like they're currently doing, which is interesting. Like, so, you know, they've been pushing back the latest balance patch. They're putting out these DLC characters, and like beforehand, they were just like, oh, DLC character, here's a balance patch. DLC character, here's a balance patch. You know, and like now they're like, all right, you know, let's take our time with this one, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's helping the game like play out a lot better. And I wish they had done this from the beginning. So I think it's really risky, and it's really going to depend on how the developers, you know, go about it and approach it. It's kind of scary in the sense that a lot of the console fighting games haven't been on PC, and they haven't experienced this patching phenomenon for free. So it's a little risky in that they may approach it the way NetherRealms did, like, oh my god, it's for free now, just patch, you know. And so I really hope that they look at how like StarCraft and League of Legends like took their time between patches, you know, developed a team to internally test it like alongside the game's lifespan, so that it wasn't just like, okay, you're here and then we're gonna ship it and then you guys are out of here, you know. Like, I mean, maybe something where they have to put in a new team that sticks around for 3 to 6 months after the game comes out, or something. You know, something
absolutely, obviously, that is 100%. And I really hope that man, this is just a whole new fucking big issue, you know? It's pretty crazy to think about because you know what comes to my mind? When Mortal Kombat 9 first came out and I entered it at EVO, Tokido was also at EVO, and I saw him and I talked to him about Mortal Kombat 9 and I was like, "Hey, Tokido, how do you like Mortal Kombat 9?" And he said that he doesn't like it because he feels like it's designed to be changed. Like the way they designed it is in a way for it to be malleable later. And he doesn't like that because it just makes for a shittier game, in his opinion, right? So if you take that into consideration, right, and that's in today's market where they know they have to spend $30,000 to just get it through, not to mention they have to pay their own personal in-house developers and come up with all the good, quote-unquote, ideas from perhaps the community or whatever. The games are being patched a lot today. Imagine in the future where it's free. I mean, I'm afraid that it's going to be happening all the time, and they won't even know how to do it, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see about that. And just for the record, in my opinion, the best patches for fighting games ever, and that this is all time, are Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion and Tekken Tag 2, the non-arcade version. And the reason I say that is because the way that it feels like these games were patched were like, this is it. Like, you know, if we don't do this right, it's over. And it really feels that way because they did it right. Like, there are not a lot of exploitable bugs and tools and non-by-design things in Tekken 6 especially, and also Tekken Tag 2. And I think it shows that they really were trying to make a final version, as opposed to in the future when it's going to be free, maybe only an idiot would make a final version in the future, you know? So, I don't know, it's something that concerns me. It's an interesting topic, thanks to that guy Splash for the email, and it also it concerns me, you know, because on the one hand, we're talking about, you know, increasing the quality of games, and on the other hand, the forecast is that they're going to suck 6 dicks in a row, you know? So, I don't know, what do you guys...
I think it's like you have to expect the game to suck early and then hope that other patches fix, you know?
Man,
and
that's the way it's going to be.
Great point, Rick.
When Tag 2 originally came out on the first version, and we got like the, you know, the beta or whatever, I thought it was okay.
Well, I mean, you know, I thought it was okay too, but I thought that combo damage was too high, and I thought that standing damage was too low. And lo and behold, the console version comes out, and it's like 135% standing damage. And you know, I forgot what the scaling was changed to, but it was changed. You know, so
no, yeah, but what I'm saying is that, you know, when I saw the original Tag 1 or Tag 2, and I was like, just playing it, and I was like, you know, people were saying things about it. I fully expected there to be another one. Because Tekken 6 first came out, and you were like, this game sucks. Yeah. You know, Tekken 6 is garbage. And then they came out with
5.
5 was fucking heaping, steaming shit pile. I agree.
5 was alright. I liked it. 5 was not... It lasted 2 Evos. I mean, come on, give it a chance.
Give it a chance. Steve Infinite's 1-2-1 Snake Edge, up forward, whatever it is, 1 with Nina. That game sucked, dude. Another instance of YouTube would have fucked that game up big time. Anyway, go ahead.
YouTube did kind of fuck that game up, but it wasn't even that big of a deal. People saw the Infinite and just didn't care.
Well, I don't know what it is about the water these days because people don't like anything. As soon as something comes out, it's time for Nerf, please. You know, that forum name or whatever it is, you know? Everyone is just complaining. And you know... I guess it's human nature, you know. You'd rather them fix it than you fix it, you know.
Yeah, now it's becoming a problem. No one's gonna play a fighting game as soon as it comes out and expect it to be the finished product. You know, now they're gonna expect patches, and you know, now that's the world we live in. So we're gonna have to. It's almost kind of disheartening to try to learn a fighting game now, and like knowing that I could play Superman. I'm playing Superman right now, and I know in about a month he's gonna get fucked up, and now I have to learn a new Superman. You know?
Yep. That really sucks. No, I was thinking one of the problems when patching became more popular on PC games in general was that games would basically come out unfinished, and then you would look for like a day one patch or something. You know, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the game would ship broken, literally broken, and then you
Fallout
know you
New
would have to, like,
Vegas is
get
an
the patch
example.
outs. Yeah, there's a couple of them. You know, like they were just really bad launches, and I'm thinking with patches being free, like I can see that increasing. Just like just from like we talked about last week, development pressure, deadlines, etc. Just like we got to get this out there now. We have a deadline, it's got to ship. We'll send the patches out. The patches are free, whatever. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, they're going to use the advance in the technology to make their job easier. So you're going to release a more unfinished product, to finally fix it based on the biggest QA test of all, release, So instead of having like private, people play testing it and bringing the cab to Evo and all that, you're going to have the big play test, 1.4 million copies sold. Boom, YouTube is your playtester right there. Just fucking search for shit. Injustice bugs. I'm sure that's what they do, right? I mean, your game launched, you're all over YouTube looking for Injustice bugs. It's not like Slips is going to catch anything, right, Slips?
Backload and Infinite?
Oh, man, that's too good. Anyway, I mean, yeah, it's really an interesting topic. I think fighting games kind of suck, It's weird the way they're headed, and it's weird the way they've been. I really like the way Tekken has always been patched, though. I'll tell them that. When they launch a game, they launch it, and they just look at it, and they make a patch that's like, this is it. This is our second try at this game, and that's all we're going to make. And, it seems to be home runs every time, right? Tekken 5, Tekken 6, and Tekken Tag 2 for the people that like it, I guess. It functions well. It's just not user friendly. So I mean, I don't know. I like that method, and I hope that even though it's free, companies, at least separate the patches a little bit. Because this was kind of, Ricky, you said that thing about I play Superman now, but they're gonna nerf him, right? I mean, this is kind of the first time I ever in my life have really dealt with a big nerf. Injustice was like the first time, right? And not only did they nerf my character specifically, but they also nerfed my playstyle because of wake-up attacks. I liked the 50-50 on wake-ups that I got every time I knocked you down. And they took that away by changing the system. But I felt like it's kind of insulting. It's kind of like, it's kind of fucked up to do something like that. And I was talking to Kayal about this before he went back to Saudi Arabia, and he was saying, I can totally agree with you on that in that regard. Patching of a character is one thing. Perhaps they need to be adjusted. But changing the system after you've bought the game and perhaps become attached to it, like you like it or you are learning to play it and get good at it, to change the system so dramatically at that point with just a patch, as in not a major update, with just a patch, I think is kind of fucked up. I think it's kind of like, you sold me a product and now you changed the product that I already bought and owned. And I don't like that. I had a product that I was happy with the purchase with, and now I'm not happy with this purchase. My case is a little different because, I won a few tournaments in that game, and I felt like I owed NRS because their game made me a couple $100 from tournament winnings. So yeah, I bought the online pass. I support the game. But forget that. What about the guy, like, let's say Rickstah liked it. Rickstah never won or got top 3 at Wednesday Night Fights. And, what about him? What if he hated wake-up attacks the same way I do? Yeah, I don't think it's that fair. I don't think ethically it's right for the developer to make system changes to a game after it's been launched, but before a major update like Bloodline Rebellion or whatever the update is for the game. Major update, system change allowed. Minor update, not allowed. What do you guys think?
I can agree with that.
Okay, Ricky.
Yeah, I can as well.
So you guys agree that it was fucked up? Finally?
Well, I mean, to me, like, I guess because they said that it fixed a problem with the game. Like there was a fundamental flaw with the system that needed to be fixed. But to me, now that I think, because we're so many patches into it now, thinking back on it, it's like if it was a fundamental flaw to begin with, why didn't you just fix it before it came out. You know.
Basically, I think it's not fundamental. If the game is functioning nicely and there are tournaments and shit, it's not fundamental. It's just a flaw. They called it fundamental because they didn't want to look like, you know, I don't know what they called it that for. You know, if the game was functioning and we were having good tournament results, what's the problem? Why change it? You know, unless they don't like me winning, right?
It's really interesting to consider like the free patches thing and then think about how NRS basically, you know, in my opinion, try to cater to casuals and also tournament players. You know, like if to me, I feel like a lot of fighting games that are older that progressed broken end up being more fun to watch. You know, so even though there's like garbage stuff in it, like for some reason at a higher level, it's more entertaining. You know, and so I feel like when things get dumbed down, like now Injustice, like it's not going to be as exciting when Superman gets super nerfed. You know. Well, I mean, no, that's probably not true. It'd probably be more exciting because you won't.
Injustice isn't a good example, but in your defense, I have a couple examples. You know, like like watching Joe King beat Ogre players. You know, he was such a stylish player in Tag 1, and he played Yoshi King, which was not a very strong team, but he's over here kicking the shit out of like top tiers. You know, watching that happen was really fun, and that's probably what you mean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, yeah, I agree with that. And then with all the patching, you're saying maybe... I think Injustice is the opposite, though, because nerfing Superman is only good for that game. He's ugly.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
But, I mean, yeah, Chun-Li, I mean, you know, the Daigo full parry, man, that's a perfect... The pinnacle in fighting game hype was the Daigo full parry, historically, right? And... I mean, look at what's going on there. You know, you have two very good characters, but you have Chun-Li, which is like, oh, man. And then you have Daigo, which is whatever. Let me just fucking do this shit I do in my sleep, and let me just beat this guy. And then Justin, the way he mashes on the buttons to try to get out, it was just like a magical moment, you know? And it has a lot to do with Chun-Li being such a tyrant in that game, you know? Like, she's just too good in that game. And that I agree with you. So you think games are going to be more boring in the future then?
Yeah, fighting games in general.
Man, let's try and stay positive here, dude.
Rest in peace. Yeah, it's already dead.
It really does kind of feel that way. I mean, these fighting games are being developed all weird, and dude, basically make good games, please. We want to play good games, so make good games. I guess that's what we're getting at. Anyway,
it's tough, man.
Do you guys have anything to add about this topic before we move on?
If there was no YouTube, I think your Deathstroke, or no streaming and no YouTube, your Deathstroke would have been first place at Evo.
Absolutely. Yep. There's no question about it. I'm pretty sure about that.
And no patching.
Yeah, maybe.
If there's no patch and all you saw on the forums was Aris, you know, #1 Aris Deathstroke, and everyone's like, how the fuck is he winning? All you have to do
SoCal sucks against Deathstroke.
Dude, man, this is the way it was back then. It was so much more fun that way too. I felt like the surprise factor of a tournament. You know, traveling to tournaments back in the day was actually worth your money. In today's, you know, internet, I know all you guys hear about, oh, you guys should all travel and play in tournaments and shit. You know, really, it's not really worth the money, especially if you're fucking broke like me. Like, I can't really justify, and I couldn't justify, flying out to final round when I could barely pay my rent, you know? So that's not a great allocation of money in my eyes. However, back then, knowing that this was my one chance to see what these guys do in this game I love, it's like being able to, for a limited time, watch YouTube. But you can never watch it again. You know, it's like right after that, you can't watch it. Wouldn't you be looking up, if you like Tekken, let's say, you would just be trying to soak up as much information as you possibly can during this time. Traveling to majors back in the day were like awesome. That shit was sick because it's just paying in dividends big time, you know? Rip, you look like you have something to say. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that totally reminds me. I didn't even think about it, but the first major I traveled to was one of the TIT tournaments, and it was like on like last minute. Me, Chojin, and Cynic decided to drive to Texas, right? And so we drove there, played in the tournament. I took a camcorder with me, you know, just to film the matches so that I could watch them later. You know, like I'm just thinking back to it now. I was like, man, that is like non-existent nowadays. Like,
Nope.
like when we went over there, we had the thought like, yo, while we're here, SoCal is so good at games and whatever. We gotta like let's go win easy money. We went over there, none of us did well. It was awesome.
And that kind of shit is like really the excitement. The excitement is sort of taken away. It's kind of lame that we know, well, this guy is really good. We've seen him play every time, and there's nothing else left to see. It's kind of a bummer because those moments when, Kembo came to Evo and is just like ha stepping away from Jackie Tran's ogres, both sides, he's a ha and lays down and gets up and goes in the other direction. The crowd is just like, whoa. We're playing Tekken, man. What is this? This is. I remember JOP. He was like, this fucking guy doesn't even want to fight with me. Let me know when you want to fight. Like, dude, this guy was like, I play Tekken. I play ogres. You're not playing Tekken. You're cheating. Where are you going? And then he starts chasing him across the infinite stage. And he just lays down and the shoulder tackle whiffs. I mean, these are things we're watching in the top 8 and we're just all like dying. We're like, this is amazing. It was worth my money. Big time. No question. I'll be there again next year. That doesn't really happen anymore. No one brings new shit. No one has new strats. YouTube is lame, man. It's cool because of the lab and the technology and the beach, but you can't just listen to the Beastie Boys the whole time.
You could have just went with the Beach Boys, but
no, fuck the Beach Boys, the Beastie Boys, dude. Anyway, all right. So YouTube sucks. Development is too hasty. Patching sucks. And anyone who plays online basically likes shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. The last thing I want to talk about is that Mad Catz will be streaming the global qualifier for the United States of America, which is being held this weekend. It's being streamed from round 1, which is in Puente Hills. I don't know what else I'm supposed to talk about. Oh, yeah, it's going to be on Mad Catz's channel. Huge thanks to Markman for undertaking it. And I heard that Kane, we're using some of Kane's equipment as well. So thanks to Kane as well. And that's really sick, man, because if that tournament went unstreamed, I think that's going to be a classic feeling tournament because we have NorCal Invaders coming. So Bronson and Mr. Naps are going to be here. We're picking them up from the airport tomorrow. And, it's kind of a classic feel. Like, fuck these NorCal shitheads, man. We're going to send them home. Yeah,
they're coming to take our spot, dude.
Just like we went over there and took their spot. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, this is I feel like this is the first time we've had a spot to we have the spot to give away, and now they get to come here and try to take it.
Yeah, every other time. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, usually for
SBO qualifiers,
NorCal is the location that gets a spot. And so several times the SoCal Tekken scene has gone up to NorCal and taken their spot. And, it's been very dope every time, at least for SoCal, obviously. So this is their opportunity.
They look so sad afterwards,
too. Man. And it was like, there were good times. We won that one year, I was fucking loving that shit, so... Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome.
We hugged.
Yeah, dude, I kissed Sukin on the cheek.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Sukin was so pissed.
He was so pissed. Dude, let me tell the internet that one. So we were playing in this SBO 3v3 tournament, and the winner qualifies for Super Battle Opera 2010, and we're playing against Kane's team, which in my opinion was the hardest team to beat there because I always felt very confident that we could beat people that we don't know. We're just good at beating people we don't know. And their team was Bloodhawk, MYK, and Kane, right? So we just sat down and we're all kind of doing our job. We're all beating a player or doing well. And then basically Sukin had to beat Kane and we won, right? But both Rip and I were like, Sukin's about to get his fucking shit pushed in by Kane. We were watching and just on the side we were like, no way he's going to beat him. He beat him one game and I told him, if you do that again, I will fucking kiss you. And he did it again. So I grabbed his face and I kissed him on the cheek and we ended up going to Japan that day. I did have to disinfect and I had to apply ointment. But luckily, I was able to clear up that Cambodian issue I had, and boom, we're good to go.
You,
But
you had to get checked out real quick.
yeah, big time. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a cool event, and if it was not streamed, that would be a shame. So huge shout outs to Markman and Mad Cats. It's awesome that they're streaming it. You guys should watch it this weekend. What else? Am I forgetting anything?
Madcats.tv.
Yeah, madcats.tv on Twitch.
It'll be kind of interesting too, because this will be the first tournament in America, I would believe, that's on cabs for Tag 2. Well,
no,
not
we
the
had
first tournament.
we had a tournament.
Yeah, but this
Yeah,
will be
we
the first good one.
No, it's
Kinda
not
like the
good
last
yet. You never know it's gonna end up like the beach.
It may end really bad for us, dude.
The Beachty Boys.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
that's true.
Dude,
Oh, damn
Iron
it.
Fist had the best comment in the chat earlier too when he said that Bronson Naps company guys to pick up from the airport. He's like, "Don't pick them up from the airport."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Well,
just
they're not
I'm gonna drop off.
retards. They'll figure out how to get there.
I don't care.
I'm gonna
make
pick
it
up
hard for
Jimmy.
them.
I'm gonna pick up Jimmy, drop him off in Compton, see how he likes it, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's just Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan that shit, and just kick the shit out of both of them and send them to the desert or some shit. Whatever. They'll never take our
Nah,
spot.
we gotta be nice. We gotta send him to the beach.
Send them
Yeah.
to the beach. Which
dude.
beach? Long Beach.
No, that's too nice, dude.
Nah,
Venice
we gotta
Beach?
give him a. No, we gotta give him an ugly one, like Huntington Beach or
All right.
Redondo Beach.
Okay, Redondo. They'll head straight to the beach. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
No.
Before we
No.
get to this bitch calling?
I mean, I was just thinking about the patch thing, and like, I wonder if Tekken Revolution's gonna do balance patches for the characters.
Probably depends on popularity, right?
I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
I feel like it's not needed in that game because the game is so much like
bullshit,
Tag
right?
2.
No, I think it's not
Yeah.
needed because who cares? It's all who cares. I mean, power levels, enhancement, and it's all bullshit
yeah, that's
anyway. Maybe you can balance patch your own character by leveling up in a certain way. Who knows? I don't even know how that system works. It's so online and not offline that I think they don't even need to balance patch it. As long as it's fun and there's a reason to log in every day, play it and have fun. That's how I look at that game for the time being, at least. Anyway, you guys want to call people bitches?
Yeah, let me go first.
Okay, looks like you've done some thinking. Go ahead.
You guys, my Twitter feed has been blowing up with this garbage.
Mhm.
And so whoever the hell decided to give Skullgirls codes to every goddamn person, including Rip, you're a fucking bitch,
Who wants a
man.
Skull Gold code? I'm gonna give one away right now.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's like overflowing with fucking numbers and letters that mean nothing
Yeah, it's
for
really
a game
stupid.
for a game that it's not, they don't even have the game. It's a beta. They're going to have it up until Tuesday and then they have to buy the game. It's like, I understand the whole purpose of it. It's good marketing, but come on, dude. Really, I care. I don't care if Chris G or Sherry or whoever, Rip, has a code, and they make me try to guess some stupid quiz on what's the strongest combo off of Jack's Down 4-2.
Oh, man.
It's like, come on, shut the fuck up and just either give out the code or whatever, dude. God damn it.
Whatever, dude. Give out the code or whatever, dude.
Don't. I don't even want the game, but I wanted a bunch of codes just so motherfuckers can have me, because that shit was annoying as fuck.
Dude, that's really funny. Good bitch calling, man. Yeah, whoever's giving out those codes, I agree. You're a bitch, man. No, come on. It's like, does anyone... I mean, people will want it no matter what, because it's free, They'll want it if they never even redeem it. So... Free something? Well, I know the answer to that question. Let me get that, Rip. So, anyway, whatever. Yeah, that guy's a bitch, I guess. Rip? Who's bitch?
Man, I realized I haven't been on the show in a bit until last week. So, I forgot one. And so, first of all, let me get this out of the way. So, Prima Games, I really enjoyed working on the Tekken Tech 2 guide. And if you invite me back for a future guide, I would be very happy to do one. However, Comic-Con.
Oh.
You got a contest. Beat Tom Brady, a.k.a. Bill Manoidis. One match. Win an Xbox One or a PS4. Now, I show up to Comic-Con. I get in line. They joke with me like, hey, man, I thought contracts aren't allowed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. They let me sign up. Okay, they let me sign up after all that. I play them. It's a close match, right? Aquaman combos the wrong direction, and I get the win. Okay, that's basically how it ended. Right? I'm like, yes, I won, whatever. And then people high-fiving me and stuff because I'm only I beat them. No joke, right? And then like I go up to like claim it. I'm like, how do I claim this, whatever? And they're like, you're not allowed because you're a former contractor. You work with the Tekken Tag 2 guide. I'm like, what? Like that's not in the rules. You know, like it's like no one saw that. And they're like,
it is now, bitch. Boom.
Yeah,
we patched that in.
Yeah, patch that rule in, motherfucker.
Yeah. So Prima Games.
Tight.
You guys are bitches.
All right. Who's my bitch calling this week?
Rip beat Tim Bradley and got ripped off. Okay.
Who's Tim Bradley?
Tom Brady, apparently.
Tim Bradley? Okay, that's cool. Who's a bitch? I just had one on the tip of my tongue here.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, I know. I always forget to think about this. I think about all the topics we need to talk about, and I always forget to think about who's a bitch.
We really are running out of bitches.
Oh yeah, I know who's a bitch. This nice young man today. I don't know how old he was, but he was really young, maybe 16 or whatever. Came into the arcade today with his mom, and he was like, "Oh, I wanted to check the place out," and he was like, "Whatever." And I was talking to him and stuff, and he was like, I said, "What do you play?" And he's like, "I'm a Smash player." And I was like, "Oh shit, that's really cool." Like, did you hear about this Smash Sundays they did at Super Arcade? And he was like, "Yeah, I was here." And I was like, "Oh, well, maybe you could tell me how'd it go." He said there were 88 people that came to that shit, dude. My bitch calling is everyone. Everyone who fucking doesn't come to tournaments and stuff. We've held tournaments on Sundays, so don't say it's because Wednesday Night Fights is on a Wednesday. I used to hold tournaments on Sundays. I used to hold tournaments on Fridays. All you people out there who are asking for EWGFs, Friday is prime time for finding horizontal refreshments, okay? I'm not going to waste my Friday kicking it with 6 people. People did not come out to those tournaments. We ended up having to do round robins or dicking around with goofy-ass rules, and the Smash community came out for a bunch of old-ass fucking Wario. I'm not gonna win. Who cares about that old game? 88 people do, and I'm sure next time there's gonna be more. So everyone's
actually
a bitch.
Mario's in the new one, not in the old one.
Whatever. That's not the point. Chief Tony Hawk, who gives a shit? The point is that 88 people came out, and I was very impressed to hear that. When, it's like, anyway, whatever. Everyone who doesn't come to tournaments is a bitch. If you wanted to, you would, Online is like shitty. Anyway, make sure you guys, follow these two guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's been good times. Any announcements, Rip, going on for you that you want to plug? Give you an opportunity to do that.
Dude, I don't think I got anything. Oh, I'll update the Injustice app. I got all this data. I just got to send out the update to Android, whatever.
Okay.
iPhone app version, they're still rejecting me. So
you're gonna have Zatanna.
I got all the frame data ready.
Okay.
Zatanna, Martian Manhunter, and Zod are all getting passed into the app.
Cool. Check that out. Internet, support this guy. Does a lot of stuff. Don't support Ricky, cause whatever. Ricky,
dude, support me. I'm gonna start streaming. I'll get a subscribe button.
You say that every week.
Did you stream once between last week and this week?
Or the week before that. Or the week before that.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
No, dude, I'm gonna stream. Obviously.
Obviously. What's obvious about it?
It's obvious, dude. I'm gonna stream. That's why I keep saying it. Follow me on Rickstah or whatever on Twitch. I'll stream.
Ricky never.
Actually, what I really want to say though is just everyone, like, if you're here, watch the Mad Catz TV stream this weekend, because this is like a big tournament for Tekken. Even though it's not really, it might not pull in big numbers in terms of tournament entries. Like the prize is probably the biggest prize for a Tag 2 tournament we've had in a while. So
yeah, and it's also not only that, but it's also something that's unique. It's not something that people will get to see very often. These style of tournaments, for example, the SBO tournament that Rip Sukin and I won, no one got to see that, and it was quite the event. It was quite the matches. So and it's unfortunate that those matches are just gone in the dust. So, yeah, everyone in the chat, make sure you watch it. If you can't watch it, at least leave the browser open and take off. I know your computer's on downloading gay shemale porn anyway. So, just leave it on. I'm going to do the same with all my gay porn. So, leave it on. Leave the thing